Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Thursday. What is this month? May 25th, and we're gonna go over the markets. The overnight has just opened here about 50 minutes ago, so we're gonna go over previous day's action. What I'm looking forward to going into the Memorial Day holiday weekend. So starting off here for the S&P 500, you can see what we were looking for from yesterday. I came up there and hit it right here. I got in the trade right here. This is just a simple 50% retracement trade. You see it started from this day right here, taking that low, drawing it, keep drawing it, waiting for it. See the black line, that's the 50%. You're just waiting for that to get hit. Never did, never did, never did. And so that is until, so the first entry you can get is in, went down, it can bounce off 38, hit the 50. So I don't take the 50 when it first gets hit. The exit is the 38% line. You see it didn't get hit. There's a little bit of a gap, and enough of a gap in there for it to not get filled. Came down, hit the 61.8. So this is when I look to get in, because what happens is when price hits the 61.8, then you move the exit to the 50% right here. So got him right there. Definitely took some heat against it right there, and would like to get in down here again, but did not, unfortunately. But just stayed right there because I didn't need to move my exit. And then today, price came back up, and look at this right here. Look at that line. The high of that was 4175.75, and the black line was 4176. So it's just a tick off of it, but close enough for it to be done. And that is why I do not have my exits right on the Fibonacci lines. I always keep them a little bit lower. Like I think I had it about right here-ish or so, something like that, because sometimes it does get 1 to 2 ticks away, close enough for it to be hit. But so just make sure you get out of it right there. So went up there, got out of it, and that is that trade right there. That's why I had it highlighted with this box right there. So that one is said and done. And then going over to today, and in fact I'll delete that box as well. Going over to today, looking for the box trade. On the opening, there was some great movement here, great movement. Fortunately, I wasn't able to, had other things going on, could get into it. But you see from here the 8:30 opening candle here on the 15-minute chart, set up for some really nice box trades. So actually, you know what? It's still in the box trade. It sure is. Look at this. Take this here. I'll put it up here a little bit. So how it works is you use the body of the candle for the box trade, and then you put the Fibonacci levels. There's the top, there's the bottom, and since it closed below the box right there on that candle, we are looking for a downwards move, and we're looking for it in the downwards target. We're looking for is a 1.414 Fibonacci extension level. Price did not hit that. So when that happens, when price comes up and hits the top of the box, then the exit moves to the bottom of the box right there. As you can see, it has not been hit yet ever since price hit the top of the box. So if you got in right here, you'd be looking at around 7-8 point gain. So what I'll do, I'll actually get it closer up here. I'll go ahead and put one on, and then maybe in the overnight session, like I said, I always put a little bit off of it. Maybe the overnight session, it'll pop and get hit. One rule of thumb I try to always do, unless the price is just at an extremely amazing level to get into, is instead of just chasing it right here, which it may not even go up any higher right there. It may just go straight down and finish off that trade for that thing to get set up, not filming right there. I normally have all of my entries higher than where the price, or higher or lower. If I'm shorting right here, I'll put my entry higher, because almost every single time I get into a trade, there's only a handful of times that I can remember I got in right at the right point and went down and hit it. Normally it goes against me for a little bit, at least a little bit, before it goes and fills me right there. So we'll keep this right here, and then before I go to bed tonight, if it's not hit, I'm gonna take it off, because there'll be enough movement for it to wallow around and things like that. But that is what I'm gonna do, and that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking for going into tomorrow for that trade. If you look at the extensions for the day, we can see that, change that to the extension target. See from right here, look at this, hit right off the 1.146 level, which was also that 50% line, showed a little bit ago. So hit the upper side of the extension target, and then has bounced off of it. So that is the S&P 500. Look at the MFI. MFI still going pretty much straight up. And the daily is middle no man's land, so MFI really isn't telling us anything. Going into the Russell 2000. So this one, it finished off the trade from yesterday. This was the box trade 50% trade, and as you can see, price went away from it quite a bit. It was a 50% trade, and also would have been a semaphore trade as well. Let me show you how the semaphore. Well, we'll just go over the box trade first. So, box trade. It wasn't a semaphore trade. I put that on there, but that's not correct. Not a semaphore trade. This was the box trade, because here we have that drawn right there. There's the box, the 8:30 opening candle, Central Standard Time. Price closed below it. Obviously, finished the box trade. That wasn't it. The trade, it was the retracement trade off of the drawing the box. So when you do that, you just go from the high to the low since it closed below it. And price blew up past the 38, blew up past the 50, hit the 61.8, and then just continued to rocket higher. So I got in on that candle right there, and unfortunately for this trade, the price just skyrocketed way further north. So my next entry was right here on that candle, the 4.236 line right there. And then went down for a little bit, came up, made a fake move higher, and then just cratered down ever since. So yesterday I got out right here because I mistakenly thought that this was an extension trade right there. So I wanted to get out right here, then hoping price go up short again, then get out right there. But anyways, got out right there, and then if I just held on to it today, you can see price went and came out and took, which was, we looked for the bottom of that box right there. That was at 50% area, and so that one went and got hit right there to finish that that trade setup out right there for it. Typically, price doesn't go against you that far for it. Luckily for the E-mini Russells, the movements or the money invested in it is a lot less than like the Nasdaq or the S&P 500 or crude oil, so you can take those big moves against you. It's no problem at all. And so that one got completed. And then what you could also do, it's also a semaphore trade. You just take the low to high, and then you just go off the extension levels, and you're looking for 50% retracement back to it. So the exit for that one would have been, let's see here, would have been, you wait for going back to the 50% level. So for the semaphore trade, it would have been this right here. That would have been the exit right there. So the really dangerous thing about semaphore trade is you don't know how high it's going to go, and a lot of times you have to use multiple contracts just to balance it out to make sure you get positive. So usually in a semaphore trade, the earliest I'll get in would be between the 4.236 and 6.85 right here. So like somewhere, let's see here, at the bottom of the rectangle, I usually look for about 3/4 of the way between the 4.236 and 6.85. That seems to be a pretty good spot for it. This time it came close to it, didn't quite get it as far as, if that's saying that was a semaphore trade, but that seems to be a pretty safe spot. You can get in as earlier as a 4.236, but I have seen, price go all the way up to 11.89, all the way up there, and sometimes leaving a little bit higher than that. So that's just the really thing. If I could figure out exactly, get a better idea for turning points for it, they would make that trade extremely valuable. But right now, it's better for like longer term type trades rather than day tradings, like say for longer term trade stocks and things like that, cryptos, things. So, but that's how that one works. And so that the exit would have been right here for it. That is another trade setup. So then going into today, what we actually have? We actually have a 50%, it looks like, trade right here. So if we just keep on going, I don't think we have an extension trade, because there it hit the 0.236. Actually, we do. Look at that. Okay, cool. So we have, I don't know. No, we don't, because price did come back up and hit it. It made a gap, came up and hit it. So extension trade is done. How extension traders work: if price blows through the day's support resistance extension levels, like if it kept on going like lower down here, then what we do is look for coming up and hitting the 1.414. And when it does that, we take the retracement. The exit is back to the 23.6, and so that one saying got done. It just wasn't a big enough move down here to the downside. But anyways, what we do have with it though is we do have a 50% trade set up using that high from that day right there. So when price comes back, hits the 50% right here, the initial exit will be down there at 38, the lower end of that box. If price goes up and hits the 61.8, that's where I look to get in, and then the exit will be the 50% for the hard exit. My exit will be slightly above it right there, but that would be the trade setup we have there. We'll go with the box trade. Let's see. Was the candle good enough today? Yeah, candle was good. So we have a move to the downside. Yeah, that one got hit. And so with the box trade for the 50%, you just use either the daily high or low depending on the way it's going. And as you can see, price went up, hit the 50%, right down to 38 for that one to be done right there. Going over to the Dow Jones, it looks like we have another 50% trade set up right here, forming. Yeah, same thing, just like the Russell. We have a 50% trade set up for it. When price hits the 50%, then the initial X will be at 38. Hopefully it comes up and hits at 61.8 right here, and then X will be the 50% right there. So that is another potential one we have in the Dow Jones, and that's the main one I've seen right there for it. Let's look at the box trade for the day. Is it any good? Let's see. 9. This is 8:30. Okay, yeah, that's a good candle. Real good candle. So there we have it right there. We have a close below it, so we're looking to go lower for it. And then price went up a little bit and it came down all the way down and hit it. So if you could see into a crystal ball, you would have got in somewhere right here, rolled all the way down there and hit that. But I play it safe and just wait for it to hit back up here and then take it down there. But anyways, that's how that one works right there. So yeah, going into tomorrow, if we get a pop-up, looking for just like the Russell 2000. Crude oil, this looks like a blowout day today in crude oil. Yeah, it was a blowout day. You can see we did get some a little bit of support all the way up back to the 23.6, actually to the 38% line right there. And then we just had to push back down to the next level right there. And then we'll see what happens when price gets up into that level again. But it was a blowout day as far as the extension lines go, where price did not turn or at least stabilized once it gets to that area. It tried to for a little bit with crude oil, but then it just took another leg down and another leg down after that. So today was what I consider a blowout day for it. So tomorrow, if there's more movement down here in crude oil tomorrow, the target we'd be looking for would be somewhere between 70.49 and 69.58. Typically, you don't get two blowout days in a row like that. If you do get another move down, look for the support area coming in all in right in this area to get some support for tomorrow. Then a move back up for crude oil. For our charts coming off being oversold, so that makes perfect sense. See there's the consolidation a little bit while we're in the overbought. I always mix it up. It's overbought when it's above. It's overbought. So it's been overbought. Now we're getting a sell-off just to get the MFI back in manageable territory. Same for the daily chart as well. Hit it right here. Where was it? Hit it right there on that candle. Still continue to go up, and now we're finally getting a sell-off down there for that one. So that is crude oil for that. But what we do have for tomorrow, looking forward to it as well, just like the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000, we have a potential 50% trade. So when price goes up and hits the 50% line, exit's 38, but if it goes up and hits 61.8, exit is the 50% right there. So that's another one I'll be looking forward going into tomorrow. And you can see right here, the opening candle wasn't very strong, small body for it, closed down, and when that candle also closed down, it had taken out the target easily, the 1.414 for that. So that is crude oil. Last but not least, Nasdaq. Nasdaq has a lot of potential right here. We're still waiting for a big sell-off here in Nasdaq, all the way down to, I say big, but relative for where price has been going. It's been in this channel right here going up. I finally took out those lines showing I thought it was in like an ascending triangle, because that was obviously not correct at all. Let's see. It's kind of a ugly channel. I don't really know where it'd be. I don't know, maybe something like that. But it's in some type of channel going up, obviously. And so I'm waiting for the pullback eventually down here. It has hit from, because if you look at the 30-minute chart that I have, this is a semaphore trade for it. Price did receive some resistance when it hit the 4.236 level. And then just today, see over here, the line is the 6.85, the red line. Just today, it went up there. Let me delete some of this stuff so it'll make it easier to see. Delete that one, and I'll delete that, yeah. So it just hit, you can see the red line right there, hitting off the 6.85% level. And that's one reason why I'm looking at a short. But today in the Nasdaq market was at the end of yesterday was a huge move up because Nvidia reported those amazing profits, and it carried over into today. You can see when it went up in today, it hit the extension resistance zone. It did get some initial resistance, but pushed through it. I wouldn't consider that a blowout day. It did get good resistance, and it did push a little bit higher, but it wasn't like it's way up here in this area or something like that for it. But going into tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a little bit of a move higher, and that is the reason why I have my sell order just below the extension, lower extension of the daily target, 1.146 level. And let me show you why I have it all the way down there, because using this high right here, we have a 50% retracement trade where use that high to that daily low. You can see the 50% has never gotten hit, so we just keep on drawing it down to the low until it comes out and gets hit. So then at the end of yesterday, price just powered through it, and I even went down to the 1-minute chart to make sure, because sometimes in the 15-minute charts you can get, when there's crazy action, price runs up, hits the 50%, and then runs back down, hits a 38 to take it out, and then runs back up. And so it looks like on the 15-minute candle that it's just one, solid candle. But in like the 1-minute chart, it's going up, down, and then up again. So just want to make sure that within a 15-minute candle, it did not do that, and it did not. So prices just continued to push higher for it, and so could get right here. It's just leave it, set it, forget it. You have your exit down here, but again, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I try to always have my entries at a better price than I originally want to get in, because 90% of the time it always goes against me. So my theory is if price is always going to go against me when I get in 90% of the time, might as well put it in at a little bit better better entry level, just to getting better profit. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for tomorrow for that, and why I have that up there for that. So looking for the Nasdaq to come down there and hit that. It may not. This may be the high, bouncing off the 6.85. I miss out on a really nice trade, and it comes down there and takes it out. But if not, come back up here, hit that, and then hopefully be a really nice trade for it. In the 4-hour chart, it's MFI, middle of nowhere, but getting closer to being overbought. Daily chart, close to being overbought, but then look at the weekly chart right here. Look at weekly. Weekly is just getting decimated, being overbought. And that's the one weakness with the MFI. Just because it means it's overbought or oversold level doesn't mean the turn is immediate. It can take a little while before it actually gets going. And as you can see, got up about right here in that candle, and it's been going up ever since. It's been in overbought territory. So eventually, the Nasdaq market will roll over, and we will get a sell-off. Because if you look down here, when it was oversold down here, little scoop, been going up ever since, and it's obviously been in way overbought territory right here. So something's going to happen for the Nasdaq market sell-off. Don't know what it's going to be. Over here we have it oversold. We have a nice run up. Now it's been overbought over here, and then we had a run down. So the next area that we're looking for is price to come back down somewhere. MFI doesn't tell us how much it's going to go down, but just tells us that look for downside in the market when the price is up here and overbought, and look for upside in the market when price is down here being oversold right there. So that's another reason why I'm expecting eventually a sell-off here in the Nasdaq market. So hopefully tomorrow get a little bit of push up higher, hits it right up there on the daily extension targets, right up in there somewhere, and then we get that then we get a sell-off at least down to here. But the ultimate level we're looking for for the sell-off in Nasdaq is all going to be all the way down here at about 13,090-ish, 13,090. So with price currently at 13,971, that'd be what, almost close to a 900 point move. Grand scheme of things, not a huge deal. I mean, just look at it. Beginning of, is that May? Yeah, beginning of May. I mean, it was right down here. So not a big deal, but that's what we're looking for and why. And then real quick, Bitcoin. Just have a daily extension, trade retest setup. Let's see here in the daily charts if anything happened today. There was a potential 50%, but I believe that one is done. Yeah, there's a 50% trade. Hit it right there. Came off of it right there for Bitcoin. Let's see, 4-hour chart. It is oversold, so let's look for a pop-up here eventually. Some type of pop-up here in Bitcoin. Daily chart, getting close to being oversold, not quite there yet. Weekly chart, coming off, just not in overbought territory, but kind of taking off of it. I don't know if monthly even goes up high enough. Monthly, no, not quite down there to being oversold, but getting there. I mean, look at this when it hit first right here, being in overbought. It still took, what was that, Tuesday, December 20th, before we actually had a big sell-off. I mean, it took all the way until, well, it still went to a high of November 21, so almost a year for it to finally roll over and get a sell-off down to it. So as long as price stays above this yellow line, the 5-wave Elliott move is still intact with the eventual target of 78,815. But if the yellow line gets broken right there, and that's because it signifies the second wave. One of the main rules of Elliott wave theory is that second wave wave 3 cannot, that's wave 4. Wave 4 cannot break into wave 2. And so that's what would happen if that did it. But it hasn't yet, still got loads of ways to go. That level's at 14,000, and with Bitcoin currently at 26,000, still has a little bit ways to go for it. But anyways, that's the review. Try to do another one there tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks, bye.